Hey, it's Maria here from hockeytrainingpro.com and goalietrainingpro.com. And about a week ago, I put out a little question on the Facebook group, the Goalie Training Pro Facebook group, and on Twitter. Goalie Training is my Twitter handle. If you want to tweet me, that would be great. Just saying, hey guys, I'm going to make a video. It's either going to be for a wider butterfly flare or it's going to be to improve your splits. What say ye? And ye said splits. I think because most of you already have the 14-day butterfly challenge that you can get for free anyway. Maybe I'll put a link to that in the description box below for those of you, like 4 goalies in the world that don't have it yet. But so splits it is. So I'm going to give you a couple of things, some connective tissue work, some stretch, contract, relax type of thing, and then show you another way that you can use the TRX to get a wider split. But here's the disclaimer, not everybody can do the splits. Your hip is not your shoulder, kind of, thank God, because imagine if you just dislocated your hip like getting out of bed a couple times a year. That would suck. A hip has a lot deeper ball and socket joint, so it is limited just by, if this is your thigh bone and this is the socket of your hip joint, you know, I'm going to smash on the rim of my socket, and I can't go any further. And for people who have femoral acetabular impingement syndrome, if you keep trying to smash into that rim, what's going to happen? It's going to build up a bony callus, and it's going to make your movement even worse. So we're not trying to force it. Some people do have the hips that let them get into that wide splits, and that's awesome. But you're not trying to force these movements. You're just trying to get some gradual improvement. And even if your splits right now like super sucks, if we can make it so that it just sucks, that's an improvement, right? So this is what we're going to do. So one is connective tissue work, and you know that we always, you know, we work on our IT bands and our glutes and our hip flexors, and we work on our adductors too. And this is the adductor one that we often do with a foam roll is lying down prone. And then Tony of the Tony Scholarship fame emailed me, and he's like, I kind of do it like almost in semi-sitting, like a 90-90 stretch, and it feels, he feels he can get more pressure on it. And he also says he doesn't feel so creepy when he does it in the gym because the other position looks a little weird. And I think he's bang on right on both accounts, really. So this way I can lift my bum and get a little bit more pressure on that foam roll as I go. And I can kind of come forward and get different angles. I can come back. So I think it's a good technique to use. You can also use a lacrosse ball and just kind of put your leg up on a table and put the lacrosse ball in there and get in a little deeper, or a medicine ball will work. They'll give you a little bit more pressure than just a foam roll. If you've been at it a while, foam roll, it's hard to get in there deep enough. But so there's one technique that you can use for your connective tissue. And then we'll also use the foam roll just to help with like an assisted split. So getting nice and wide, I'll go here, but I want to try to keep my torso up a little bit. So I don't want to be, you know, bent forward, because functionally that's not super duper going to help you on the ice. So we're going to get here and then slowly creep our way out to get wider and wider into our splits. And I think it is worthwhile going, you know, both directions, front to back and side to side. So when you do front to back, again, keeping your chest up, using this to give you a little bit of a riser, trying to extend that back leg a bit. And remember, you have to go both directions, so left foot forward and right foot forward. And not weird at all to have one side that gives you way more range than the other. Then, you know, obviously I'm assuming you're doing your regular, you know, like kneeling groin stretch, half kneeling groin stretch. So we're going to go on to some little bit different types of stretching, which requires a contraction of the muscle you're stretching, and then contraction of the muscle that you're not stretching. So here I'm in sort of a standing half groin stretch. And I could make this bench higher. So I could have my foot up higher depending on what flexibility that I have. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start building pressure, pushing my foot down into that bench. So I'm going to build that pressure over about 10 to 15 seconds. Then, without tilting my body away, I'm going to lift that leg as high as I can and build that pressure for 10 to 15 seconds. So I feel like pretty much like my hip is going to cramp when I do that. I'm trying to lift this leg up as high as I can, using just my muscles, keeping my shoulders level. So I would do 3 of each of those. So building up, pushing down for 10 to 15 seconds, gradually building up as you lift up for 10 to 15 seconds, and do 3 of each. So part of that is this idea we talked about before of generating tension in a lengthened position, showing your brain that you can control those movements at those ends of range. So it's okay for you to use them on the ice, because a lot of our flexibility, it actually isn't that our muscles won't let us go, it's that our brain won't let us go there because it thinks, oh my God, you are gonna kill yourself. You're not getting back up after this one. Okay, the next thing we can do is we can use the TRX to get a little more stretch. So, you know, if you don't have a TRX, no big deal. It's okay. You can still do all the other techniques, but let me just hop around this way. So we can do it 2 ways. We can come out here, and again, I can get out in this position and then generate some tension, pushing that foot down, and then this hip has to turn on as well. It's sort of an equal and opposite reaction force. So staying tall, and it lets me get low, but I'm holding on here. So this is important, people. Holding on here so that I can use this to control the amount of tension. So I'm very, very comfortable in that position. And then you can do the same thing. Now you need to go slower here and make sure you hold on, but getting out into your wider splits. And this foot wanted to roll forward. Don't let it roll forward. You have to stay in that frontal plane. And again, here I can generate some tension in that lengthened position, and I control it with my hand. And this is another way that we create tension in a lengthened position, and again, train our muscles, but also train our brain that, you know, we can control those ranges. Because if we just passively stretch our hips till we can get the splits, one of 2 things will happen. One is our brain won't let us use that range on the ice because it knows you have no control and you have no business being there. The other worse option is that your brain doesn't know that and thinks, oh God, you can do the splits, lets you try and do it on the ice, and then you end up tearing your groin. So this is going to teach your muscles and your brain that, yeah, it's a-okay. So I'm here, I just have a piece of puck board. This could be a linoleum floor in the kitchen, hardwood, I guess people don't have linoleum floor anymore, maybe not, but tile kitchen floor or whatever, and just a sock on. I'm up nice and tall. I'm going to slowly come out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 under tension, but then I'll use my hands to bring me back up every time. So it's not that I can't pull myself up. I don't know, I probably couldn't, but I'm not doing it because of that. This is the technique. The technique is to lengthen under tension. We're stronger lengthening our muscles than we are shortening them. And then just recover and come back up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then here. And that's a strong stretch. I feel it here. I don't feel pinching in my joints or just like I'm getting jammed in my joints. I actually feel the stretch on the tissue that I'm trying to target. If you're feeling pinching in your joint or just like jamming in your joint, like it just won't go, like it's a block, then don't keep trying to force it. Maybe even consider getting that checked out by a good sport physiotherapist or whoever you go to see to look after these things, to see if it is a capsular restriction that needs some hands-on mobility work, or if you do have a little bit of a hip impingement, not that that's the end of your career. It just means, okay, you need to be aware of it so that you can work around it rather than just jamming on it and building up those calluses. So there's some ways you're going to get your splits. Thanks so much for your feedback. Lots of times I just want to know what you guys want to know. So thanks for letting me know that splits are important to you. This is Maria from hockeytrainingpro.com and goalietrainingpro.com. And check out a link somewhere on this page, probably down below, to the butterfly challenge. If you want a wider butterfly flare and you haven't picked up that free program yet, it'll give you about 3 to 6 inches more width on your butterfly flare in 2 weeks. So not a bad return on your investment of $0. Catch you later. Cheers.